Hello, thank you for tuning into my channel. This is the Finish It Friday video for Friday, August 11th, 2023. So if you want to see what I've been working on this week, please stay tuned. When it comes to finishing projects, I think that this is a really important week. I'm very excited about what I have to share this week, mainly because of this quilt behind me. It is completely quilted. I'll give you some close-ups of this quilt first, and then I'll come back and tell you what the next steps are for it. I just pulled this quilt off of the long arm. I am very excited to have it all quilted. I want to show you a few close-ups of the quilting. I'm not sure if we'll be able to see it on this side, but let's see what we can get. The thread is like an off-white color, so we might not even be able to see it clearly at all. And I guess that's okay, because that's kind of the look I was going for, so that we wouldn't really see the quilting. In this block, you can kind of see it right there. That looks pretty good. And then the green block, you can see some more quilting. So it's very cool. Let's see, in the border, there's some quilting. I kind of have a little shadow here from the blinds. Let's close them and see if that helps. Well, that didn't really help, but okay, so here we go. We can see some quilting. All right, and then there you can see a very little bit, but I'm really happy with having it finished. I'm going to, I want to cut the sides off, and then we'll see what it looks like on the back. Here is the back of the quilt now that I have cut off the sides of extra batting and backing fabric, and it is just super cute. I'll zoom in a little bit. Maybe we can see some quilting here. There's some. It's like a half of 2 rows, so you can see a little bit of flower and a little bit of clover. Can't really see anything in the blue. Well, you can if I zoom way in, but I'm going to go out a little bit. You can see it more prominently in the brown, for sure. There's only one issue that I sort of have, and that is when I was quilting, I accidentally overlapped a couple rows. But I mean, you have to look really hard to see it. I don't even know where it is on the back. But I did have a few, like 1-2 rows overlap just a little bit. But it is still super cute. And I put on both sides, there was extra of this blue fabric at the top and bottom, but I guess we cut that off, and that's okay. I think it's fine. It gives it a nice look either way. Now I want to turn it over so you can see the front of the quilt. All right, so here is the front of the quilt. Man, I am so pleased with it. I need to measure it, but I think it's going to measure about 65 by 65, maybe a little bit smaller than that, but it's a really nice quilt. I think it's going to be perfect for the baby. One thing that I have to remember is I did the borders directional. So the owls are right side up all the way around the quilt. So I'm still considering if I'm going to enter this quilt into the Georgia National Fair. And so I'm kind of reminding myself that the quilt is directional because I want to make sure I put the sleeve up at the top of the quilt, which is actually up there. That's the top. So very excited. Let me know in the comments what you think of this quilt. I'm so happy with how it turned out, and I can't wait to put the binding on it and see everything come together. Well, the reason that I put this quilt up here on my design wall, I wasn't sure that it was going to fit, but I'm just so happy with how it turned out, and it makes me so happy to look at it. I can't wait to present it to its owners, and I have a plan to hopefully get that done quickly. I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I do have a plan. I am going to really prepare this quilt for entering into the National Fair. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do it, but I want to go ahead and get it prepared for the fair. So I've pulled a backing fabric, and I'll come up close to the camera so that you can see it. Let me see. I bet I already cut the selvage off of it. Let's see. Yeah, I cut the selvage, so I don't remember the line, but here it is. I think it's one of those reproduction fabrics. And I've had it in my stash for a little while. And I pulled it because I think it's gonna make a nice hanging sleeve for the back of that quilt. This is not bound yet, so I'm gonna do the sleeve before I bind it. So it's gonna be caught in the binding, which is gonna be very nice. And I pulled this fabric for it. I think it's gonna be a nice, it's gonna coordinate well with the bottom fabric. You already saw it in the other video, but it's gonna coordinate well with that backing fabric, and it'll be a nice look. And what I was going to do was, I have the binding already made, and this is leftovers from the actual quilt. So like if you look through here, you can see some of the pieces from the quilt, since I used 2.5-inch strips on these blocks. These are just leftover 2.5-inch strips. But what I'm going to do is cut this down to a 1 3/8 strip so that I can do a flange binding. If I do the flange, I can put it on the back of the quilt, flip it over to the front, and have it finished by machine, hopefully quickly. And so that's really my goal. If I really focus on it, I can have it finished in maybe a day, more likely 2 days, but just to get it done relatively quickly. And I think that will be really nice, so I could just have it finished. But I'm so excited about this quilt. The quilting, it turned out really good. I am a little bit concerned about placing it up for judging, but I'm just not gonna stress about it. I'm gonna have a good time and present it to its owners, and hope everything goes well with that. So just excited to have this thing out of the way, almost. Now for the t-shirt quilt. I had, as of last week, I had 4 Jacob's Ladder blocks to go. I have finished all the Jacob's Ladder blocks. I want to show you these blocks and then talk to you about a mistake I made on one and how I fixed it. So here we go. These were actually the first ones that I cut out, but they ended up being the last ones that I stitched, but I'll show them one at a time. I love this, the gold here with this plaid, and it just turned out really great here. And then these other two, I'm gonna show you this one last because I made a mistake on it. But again, these are twin blocks. So here is one, and then its twin is right here. And I made a mistake as I was putting together these blocks, but I didn't catch it until I had actually stitched it and I had to take it apart. So I pulled, let me see what I did with it. These blocks, so they're made out of this jersey fabric, like a football jersey, and it has holes in it. And so I'm gonna bring it in kind of close to the camera. Hopefully you can see it. Let me see. Let's see. Okay, yeah, so you can see that it has these tiny holes, and I interfaced the back of this one, and I ended up making 2 half square triangle blocks, 4 in total. But when I put these in the quilt, I realized that I had this side, or these stitched upside down. So, oh yeah, you can see it in the camera. So let me compare them. Let me show you again. So this is what it should look like with the dots on the outside. And this was this one with the dots kind of behind the interfacing. And I was going to, I was gonna try to like take these apart and and restitch them, just flip them. But then I went ahead and pulled, as I looked through everything, I ended up having more red and white. And so I just made a plain one. And I don't even know if it, well, to me, it doesn't matter. And once it's in the quilt, it won't matter. But I wanted to point that out. If you're working with a shirt like this, just be aware. And I really didn't know if this would affect the performance of the quilt. But once I saw it, I was like, well, I need to either change, like flip it, or switch out the blocks. And I just chose to switch out the blocks this time. To me, it doesn't really affect the look of the quilt. And it's just like, except for you guys on YouTube, you know, it doesn't even really look like I made a mistake, other than that I just said it. Okay. So either way, really nice blocks. I'm so excited to have all these done. Can't wait to put them in the quilt. I also finished a few more of the feature blocks. So I'll show you the ones that I've finished. I have right now 6 more to go, and they're going to be super simple to stitch up because it's like 3 to 4 stitches. So I'll show you these. Here's one. And then, and again, just using 2 shirts. This is kind of the feature, and then choosing another shirt as the background of this block. And then here's one. So nice in the black and gold. And then here's the other one with the football jersey. And the school colors are black and gold, and so that's why I made sure to add gold to this one. The jersey didn't have any gold in it, so I wanted to put some gold with it. I have, like I said, 6 more of these to go. Then I have to square up all the blocks and start arranging them. And I think from this point on, it's going to be a pretty quick process. It's just a matter of getting everything stitched together, getting it ready for the long arm. I have my gray fabric upstairs. I should have brought it down, that I used as the back of 2 other shirt quilts that I made this summer. And either way, I got to take it out because I'm not sure if I have enough. So I have to check and see if it's enough to back this quilt. And then I am going to create a flange binding for the quilt so that again, stitching it on the back and then flipping it over to the front and sewing the whole thing by machine. It's going to be so cool. Can't wait to see how everything comes together. Really happy with my progress. I hope that you've enjoyed following this journey. Thank you so much to those of you who have supported. By the way, several of you have commented that a tutorial on the Jacob's Ladder block would be nice and that you like to see it. I do have it filmed. I just need to edit it and upload it, hopefully soon. But really excited just about all the progress that I've been able to make. Working on this long arm is so special, and I just really enjoy it. And I'm looking forward to learning more about it as I go along. Let me know in the comments what you're working on, what you're excited about. I would love to read your comments, comment along, and we can support each other as we reach our quilting goals. I did pull out the shirts from this next shirt quilt that I have, but I want to finish both of these projects up. Well, at least finish this up, and then I will kind of start that other one, maybe. But this first t-shirt quilt is going to be my baby for the next few weeks as I get it wrapped up. It's just been a great journey, and even like wrapping up this summer, really fun, really just thankful that I could focus on learning something new with that long arm and just continuing to build my quilting skills. If you have any questions about what you've seen in this video, leave them in the comments below. Thumbs up this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye!